Hello there. Hi, Steve. It's good
Hello.
to have you back with us. I'm so glad. I want to do this video for so long, and time keep rushing, speeding on me. And I just want to remind everybody that we did a video before about the Enneagrams, and we're going to continue with self-discovery. In my video this morning, I did remind everybody too that we're doing this today. So I hope some people looking out for it.
Good.
Okay, well, good to have you with us today.
Yeah.
So we're gonna take the Enneagrams to a different level and talk more about self-discovery and tap it up with different things. And
Well, the reason the Enneagram itself has been a tool of self-discovery. That's really what it's about.
mm-hmm.
You can turn it into a novel party type thing, like astrology or other forms of self-discovery. But there is some real deep value in understanding who you are, and not just through the Enneagram, but through any other form of self-discovery. Just a walk in nature itself, and observing, where your mind goes when you do your meditations. Those are all little increments of understanding who we are, and when people are put into a stressful situation, when they come out the other side, they always seem to learn a lot more about themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and so there's value in that too. So what I encourage people to do is to do self-discovery. In other words, make it an effort, make it an actual exercise as to part of who you are in your purpose. Because the more we understand ourselves, the better we understand who we are, our purpose, and what's going on in the world around us.
That's true.
The world has a tendency to make us focus on what's out here and less on what's going on inside. And what we end up doing is we end up reacting to what's happening out here. And so most people, unless they've done some degree of self-discovery, that's all they do. It's just all a matter of reaction to what's going on in the world around them. And that's really backwards, because the truth of it is we're actually creating all this out here. Collectively, me and you and everybody else, we're all creating this out here, but it is a product coming from within us. And the more we understand who we are, we get to make better choices to what it is that we're creating. We don't seem to understand that we have the power to manifest the type of world that we live in. I always start off with telling people, either you're a human having a spiritual experience, or you're a spiritual being having a human experience.
Mm-hmm.
And if we are this spiritual being having a human experience, doesn't that tell us something about the amount of control that we have, or the ability to manifest what it is that we want? So the next question is, what is our purpose? What is our assignments? And then I find that the key to our assignments are within our self-discovery, because everything that we need is within us. Everything we need. We just don't have the tendency to take the time or the know-how to go in and to figure out who we are. And the Enneagram has been one of the tools that I've used. But as I said, there are other forms of tools that you can use for your own self-discovery. Meditation alone, which I strongly encourage everyone to do. And you have to learn how to do it, and to do it effectively, so that, and there is no one way and wrong way of doing meditation. It's basically an exercise of quieting the mind and allowing yourself to connect inside, because the mind it really has a lot of fun distracting us, And so if we can learn how to quiet the mind, then we can learn how to connect.
I am, this cough kicked in on me.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, excuse me. I just came up from the doctor with this cold that I can't get rid of.
Yes.
Um,
There you go, right there. There's something to be said about that, because our body responds to the vibration in which we're experiencing life at, and that's why if we can do a self-discovery and raise our vibration, we're less likely to let the environment and things around us
affect us. You are right. You are so right.
At the same time, we also know that when we do have conflict and stress within our life, it's there for a reason. So we have to take a look at it as to why it's there, and say, okay, what is it that I need to be seeing and I'm not seeing right now? And that is too is part of self-discovery. I know that there are people who go through lengthy illnesses to go through a period of self-discovery about me. They need to refocus on what it is they've been focusing on, and letting the stress and things around the environment affect them. And how is it you deal with it? Do you react to it, or do you see what it is and transform it into something else and raise your vibration?
You know, it's true what you say, and the thing is, to get to that point is the hard part for many people. And I meet a lot of people, they have no clue what meditation is all about. They have no clue how to relax themselves. They have no clue what it means to know themselves. They think they know themselves, but when you listen to them, it's really, you know. And lately I've been on a really much deeper journey in discovering myself. Now, I've been on this journey for a few years, I'll say 8-9 years now. And now I'm even getting deeper and deeper.
Mm-hmm.
I'm finding things about me that I'm learning about me more,
Mm-hmm.
And I spoke about that earlier this morning in my new weekly video. The thing is, let's say somebody is not there yet. I say, let's start with meditation and learn to relax and learn to just sit and be. This is the first thing I advise my clients. Just meditate. Take 5 minutes, no more than that. Learn to sit down quietly, and things will flow after that. What is it to you? You think the best thing for people to start to do?
Well, I totally agree with what you just said. The object is just to be able to be disciplined enough to sit and get quiet and to shut out the world around you. Let the noise out there disappear, and then you have to deal with the noise in your head,
Mm-hmm.
and which everybody is aware of.
Mm-hmm.
In true meditation, there comes a point when you can actually let that noise in your head, the volume comes down,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't hear it anymore either. But that takes a while to do that, because most people only know the noise within their head. They don't know that there is another level of communication that's going on in the higher levels of awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what meditation gives us. But so let's talk a little bit about that. And so when we go into a meditation and you're just getting quiet and you're learning how to let go of the noise within your head, there's the conversations that want to start up, and your ego has a way of, you got to remember to do this, and what about that? And then you start saying, I got to worry about this, and every time you start to go down one of those paths, you have to ask yourself at that moment, do I want to continue this conversation in my head, or do I want to give it time or back up? And so, okay, back up, center myself. Okay, that is not important to me right now. Let it go. So, but you're right. Starting off with the 5 minutes or maybe even 10 minutes of doing just that is the beginning of this self-discovery, because the more you can do that, the more you become acquainted as to how it is your mind and your thought patterns gravitate and move. Eventually, you want to get yourself to a point where you're able to, like I say, quiet down, turn the volume down on that noise in your head, and all of a sudden there appears this voice of your higher self. And it is your true self, and that voice is constantly speaking to you, but we just don't hear it. And that voice is able to reveal to you everything about yourself that you need to know. So that is what we're really looking for, and it understands you, and it understands the parts of you, and it loves you. It does not judge. There's no judgment. That voice comes from a pure source of consciousness, of love, joy, peace. So maybe the reason I bring that up is so that people can understand. If they're hearing voices or thoughts patterns in their head that are judgmental or express guilt upon them, I'm going to tell you right now, that is not your higher self. That is still the ego dealing with its own frustrations and the anger and the conflict and the drama that we all experience in life, So, because I've had people say to me, well, I go to my meditation and I'm hearing this. And I'm going, and then the comment they will make will be that they're angry about something, And I said, well, if you're expressing anger through your thoughts or frustration, unhappiness, it's your ego that's expressing that. It's not your higher self. You want to be able to connect with your higher self so that you can hear pure joy and peace. Now, how do you do that? That's not always easy to do, because you can't say, okay, I'm going to stop listening to that voice. So you can say, okay, first you have to be able to identify it and be able to let it have its place. In other words, I'm not trying to say shut it down, because you cannot really shut it down. You just turn the volume level down, because it wants to play the same tapes over and over and over again. It keeps saying the same thing about you. Something from your past that you picked up, or you're not smart enough, or you're not good enough, you're not worthy. And if you find yourself playing those same tapes over and over in your head again, that's the ego. You got to turn that volume down. Now, you may ask yourself, when you realize that this is what's happening, why is it happening? Why is it I keep saying to myself, I could never do that? Why do I say that? Because that's not really true. Or is it true? Why is it, if I can't accomplish some new task or take on a new job of some sort, why is it there's something within my mind that says me I can't do it? Obviously, it's something from part of your ego that is being critical or feeling unworthy, or whatever form of obstacle that you've created to block you from receiving that new job or a new opportunity, whatever it may be, or a new relationship. Well, a lot of people, they don't go into new relationships because they don't trust themselves because of a bad relationship they had before.
I agree with you, but when people are just starting, the only reason I got open up to all this is one moment of awareness that just boom, opened my mind. And I'm like, wow, I was like a dry sponge, and I just want to learn. I want to learn. And meditation, and it's not easy in the beginning. This is why so many people come and say, well, I'm trying to meditate, but it is not happening, and I cannot sit still for more than 2-3 minutes. Well, okay, try 2-3 minutes. Let's make it 5 minutes. The thing is, what I think the most important part is not the desire. I talk about this morning too. It's the willingness. There is a will. Am I willing to take myself much higher than my imagination? Am I willing? If I am not willing, if I just have the desire with no will, I'm not going to go nowhere. So the will is what make us really be persistent to get there. And not gonna happen right away. You got to give yourself the time, and you got to know that it is you've been programmed totally differently, and you reprogramming yourself. The thing is, you have to give yourself time to be aware of the difference of your emotions. Most of the time, people are not aware. They still have the blah 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 going on. And it takes time to really feel, oh, it feels so good when I meditate. I want to meditate longer. There are times in the morning I'll come and sit in meditation, half hour go, and I have to get out of it because I need to get up and go to work, you know? And but once you get to that point, it feels so good. You cannot pass the day without it, and then you will find the effect it has on you for the rest of the day. Nothing matter anymore. You know, certain things that used to matter get you upset. Somebody cross you on the road and you used to cuss and curse and blow your horn. It doesn't matter no more. You feel like your whole self is just like, oh, it's so peaceful. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. One time at the toll, I stopped and I gave money to the woman. I said, let the other 3 cars behind me pass. I'm paying for them. And I said, let's hope they learn something, you know? And then I looked at the guy behind me who had a BMW, and I'm thinking, I have a Toyota and he has a BMW. I paid for him. So hopefully he will think about this, you know? But you start to think differently. You start to want to be peaceful, and you start to want to learn more. Something come up on you that make you willing to change. And again, I desire to learn to meditate. It's an object. I desire to have a car. I desire to have a big meal. I desire to do this and do that. Is only object. Is the willingness to be able to carry myself to that level, to that place, you know, to look way beyond the stars and beyond the sky, you know. But then in the Enneagram, I'm a tree. And if I look at it anyway differently, I'm disappointed with myself.
Right.
So when you find somebody that's a 4 and they're so easy to fall back, what is the easiest way for that person to have their willingness more stronger than their desire?
Well, regarding the Enneagram, when you know who you are to the Enneagram, it's going to raise your vibration and your awareness to a higher level, because you're understanding the energy patterns that you've adapted when you came into this world. So when you have that revelation and you understand who you are and why it is that you're so compelled to go this way and that way when you're under stress, or if you're under being secure, or if, you know, dealing with your own fears or whatever it is, each person is a little bit differently in the Enneagram. There are 9 different types. Once you understand yourself, it's almost as if you give yourself more breathing room. To be able to express yourself, and you make better choices, because you say, okay, this is my natural pattern when I'm feeling stressed to act out and go this direction. But you say, do I still want to continue to do that? Because that's a choice, and that's the neat thing about the Enneagram. Now, when it comes to dealing with other people, when you know who you are and you're in the Enneagram, you get to decide here again whether or not you want to use your patience and your kindness and being gentle with yourself, be the same way with them. And obviously, if you're in a relationship with this person and you may know what their Enneagram type is, it will allow you to expand your understanding much further. So, for example, when I was married, or in any relationships I've been in, be it intimately or just friendships or work-wise, when I know what their Enneagram type is and they begin to act out their emotions or their thoughts, I can understand why it is that they do that, because I understand their Enneagram type. So it does empower you to give people more breathing room, not only for yourself, but for them too. And it makes life much easier when you understand the Enneagram. But it's the same thing with any level of awareness. When we begin to awaken to who our true self and realize, no, that is my ego that's speaking, and I back up and I say, I'm sorry, I just said that. That's not what I wanted to say. This is really what I wanted to say. And you get the choice. And some people say, well, you already said it now. Well, but I'm telling you right now, when I recognized it in this now moment that I have said what I've said, it didn't feel good. And I know it didn't feel good to you, or whatever it may be. And I can say, I want to back up and I want to say, here's what I really want to say. Those little moments are very powerful. And I don't believe in the theory, well, you've already said it, you've already done the damage. Well, that's true. The words have gone out. You did manifest that energy. But that doesn't keep me from backing up and stating the fact that was not my better choice, and for me to state what I wanted to say or feel. So if you find yourself in that situation, be aware. Here again, raising your level of awareness. Usually I see my own patterns. I'm looking back, and I'm saying, I know how I've acted out in the past. And then every once in a while, somebody close to me or someone who knows me well enough will point out something to me about myself and that I didn't see at the moment, and it would take me a while to see that, But when I do, it's better that I step right up to that and embrace that as truth and alter it and change it, because I have the power to do so. For example, my 8 type on the Enneagrams, we have a tendency to want to control, be in control. And so throughout the years in my past, I have had to learn how to say, do I want to be in control? Why do I want to be in control? And how is it that I can learn to let go of being in control and still be at peace and still be me?
Right.
So that's been very, very powerful for me. And sometimes people have to help me point that out to me. And I welcome my friends and family to point it out to me if they understand what I'm saying. Of course, they can sometimes use that against you too. See, you're being in control again. You got that problem of control. You're doing it again to me. I felt it just now. I'm going, okay. I didn't mean to do that. So we do have to learn to love one another, even despite, because the Enneagram can be like a sword. It is a sword, and it can cut you and injure you, or using the truth behind the Enneagram, or you can use it to, like surgery, and remove the parts of you don't want to. So the sword can be both good and healthy,
Yes, I agree with that. That's awesome. And you said in the beginning, once you start to learn more about yourself and heal and kind of become aware of the things that you're doing and how you probably hurting others, or words that come out of your mouth that's not right, or whatever you're doing that can hurt somebody else. I just acknowledged that yesterday with a patient. Actually, she asked me, how your kids doing, how your son doing, and is he in college now? Did he finish high school? Yeah, he got into college, but my son decided he doesn't want to continue with college. And maybe it is momentarily, maybe not. But I have to say, I'm so proud of myself, because a few years back, I would have gone crazy. How can you go without education? How can you really survive in this world without education? How are you going to make money? How are you going to raise a family? How this, how that? And, I didn't even, I said, why not? He said, I don't feel like it right now. I said, okay. and I have to give him the space to really find himself. He doesn't know what he wants, and before I would have reacted really fast, just like I was taught, you have to, you must. And I had to stop and back off because I used that with my other kids long time ago. And I
Well,
had to learn to back off of that lately from him and them, because I'm growing, I'm learning about myself more.
mhm,
So I know where are my mistakes now and what I did. And I am not going to be stuck in that paradigm that I grew up with.
mhm,
You know what? At the end, we all gonna drop dead, and who care if you had an education or not? Who
mhm.
care? As life is gonna go on. So I learned to leave the space open for them to realize what is it do I wanna do, and if I have something good to say it, and if I don't, to shut up. And I don't even have to worry about controlling myself anymore because I practiced it enough lately that it just happened.
Well, as a 3 type, I think you have learned to not enforce your 3 um, personality traits upon other people.
Hmm.
For example, the 3 type is very concerned about image, and having an education is part of that whole thing. Being able to say, well, I have the ability to do this because I have an education, and so instead of worrying about how other people, your family included, is going to make you look, you learn to let go of that and say, okay, this is a choice that you get to make. That this is my preference for you, but it's your life to live, and you have to learn to let go.
Right, right. I had to learn to let go and leave the space open. It is okay. What is gonna happen? It is okay. And I am not so concerned with my image as much as I used to neither.
Yeah,
So it got to a point, the more you discover yourself, the more you let go of things that
yeah.
you learn you become more aware, and you just drop things that's not important anymore.
That's a good example of the power of the Enneagram and how it can help us. Very much so, yeah. And just like I
Yeah.
was referring to about my control issue, and my 8 type also, I've had to deal with pride a lot. We 8 types see ourselves as being very strong, so pride becomes a big issue, and I'm still dealing with levels of pride in my life right now. I have on my office here on the wall, I put things up here on the wall to remind myself to work on certain things. Um, and it's making a difference. It does, because as you begin to go through this awakening within you, and you open up to your higher self through the meditation, and you become more aware of who you are, and you begin to know that voice that's loving you, you open yourself up to make these transformations you want to make, and you can make huge leaps. The progress can be very quick, very fast, and that's why we're here helping each other. That's why we're having this conversation. That's why we do the life coaching that we do. It's important to reach out and to get help. When you're stuck and you don't know what to do, that's the value behind it, because it will change your life when you open yourself up to this. You'll be more successful, much happier. That's the most important thing right there, is being.
That is true. Much happier is so important because I come to a point where I feel I'm just happy. I'm just happy. There is nothing gonna bother me, and I don't need anything else to make me happy anymore. It doesn't matter. The people will say, why don't you go out? Why don't you do this? I don't need to do all this because I'm happy. Where I am, I'm very happy.
Mhm.
And if something come along that's different and I'm okay with it, it is fine. And if it is not, it is not.
Mhm.
You
That's
know?
right.
But it is that I think that's what trigger people. And if somebody is unhappy, um, uh, I have this lady the other day sent me a nasty message on Facebook, that I'm following the devil because I'm doing these videos and the coaching, and I'm using the coffee cup to promote things, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, how could she even think this way? But then when you are happy and it shows, people do. If you're not happy, you are gonna react, you know. And so for me, life is great. It is awesome, and I'm gonna leave the camera to you for a second, and
Okay.
go ahead and keep talking because if
Okay.
I switch to you, let me open the door.
When it comes to measuring our level of awareness, happiness is probably the one thing that I use to measure that. So I ask people, I say, how much of your awakened life do you feel like you really are in a happy place? If you're living, 40% of your awakened time in pure happiness and joy, then you know you're doing well. But you can raise it to 60%. You can raise it up to 80% of your
Right,
awakened
right.
time, so that because very few of us are going to be living at 100% happiness. And that doesn't mean that you can't be, because there are people who do reach those levels. But it takes a lot of work to be able to, because we still have to live in this matrix, this world
That's
around us,
true.
and deal with the aspects of going on. And we still feel discomfort and pain and lack of sleep and indigestion, whatever.
Yeah, the physical stuff.
Yeah.
But it is awesome. Life is beautiful when you reach to a certain point. I don't think we just learn totally at one point and that's it. We don't need to learn no more. We always on this journey of self-discovery. It is always happening for me. And the minute I realize I am done with this, boom, something else happened. It triggers something in me, and I'll get upset and I'll say, uh-oh, why I am upset? That means there is something more I need to work on. And this is where
Right.
I am right now.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this is so if we go in, if somebody doesn't know nothing about self-awareness and they want to start, we start with meditation. What is the second thing you will recommend? What is the book? Can you tell them a little bit about the book if they want to order it? I know it is the Enneagram for Hudson and Russo, right?
Oh, that's just one of the books. There are numerous books written on the Enneagram. I don't have any one particular book that I promote. Russo and Hudson have been the two authors that I have enjoyed a lot, especially lately. My original teacher was Helen. Oh my gosh, I forgot her name now. Forgive me. Maybe it'll come to me later. I was just watching a video by her. Hang on a second. Let me pull it up here. Oh no, I already shut it out. So anyway,
That's okay.
I'm surprised I forgot her name. Anyway, but the point I'm making is that I don't promote any one particular book. There are numerous resources of finding information about the Enneagram. But here's the thing. What I really want to stress, though, is not a book, not a particular way of teaching. There is no one thing that's going to make the difference. It's other than what's going to be within your heart. And you learning how to open your heart and your mind and understand that whatever truths and things you believe in now, they're only there to help you get to the next place.
Right.
The toughest thing for me to do was to let go of what I used to believe as the absolute truth. And when you learn to let go of what you think is truth and understand that what you believed at that point is only helping you get to the next level. So it really comes down to opening your heart and your mind and being willing to learn and to experience this joy and to experience this love. And then if you need help, like you're implying, then yes, go to people like yourself or myself, and when I first do my coaching sessions, my first session's free, because the reason why is because I want to make sure that we're a perfect match, that the two of us can match with each other, and then I just kind of go from there based upon their needs. So the main thing is to reach out, get out of yourself, get out of this world that you're stuck in, and make it an adventure. To do your own self-discovery, and like I say, and then there are tools like what we've already mentioned here already, a few of them that will help you along the way. So
I know, it is awesome. Life is good.
yeah, no, I do have my website. People can go to my website called ascensionconsciousness.com, and I do have a questionnaire on there and some things that they can do to get them started. So
I think we if they could go to my channel and look up the first video I did with you, and I left. I will leave it again. I'll put it here. So if people want to, they can go ahead and contact you and take the test. I'll put it again on the screen as they watch. Yes.
Great.
That's great. Thank you, Steve. It's really awesome. It's always easy to have a conversation with you,
Great. Me too. I enjoy it.
Yes. So I guess I'm going to end it right here, and we'll say goodbye for now. And
blessing.
And you have a great
Namaste.
You too. And I'll see you sometime soon.
All right.
Talk, okay? You take care. Bye-bye.